if you take time out to, beyond using mass media, if you cascade it down, you talk to traditional rulers, enlighten them, they will then be your voices at the local level.
True.
So there are several ways of doing this.
Church pastors.
Yes, religious leaders. I mean, those who, the opinion leaders in society, teachers, headmasters, principals, church leaders, religious leaders rather, traditional rulers, market women leaders, and all of that, so if they use those, if they had used those ones and really enlightened them well enough, they will pass the message down.
Let's quickly move to Daily Sun. Daily Sun has the big headline there. It says, terrorist plants explosive in Niger farms and orders. And we also have APC chieftain Versata calls for the establishment of military base in Agwara. And then we have 2027, no aspirant will step down in APC presidential primary, Atiku. Anyway, let's quickly go to the terrorist plant explosive.
ADC?
Yes.
Okay, I thought I heard APC.
ADC presidential primary, says Atiku. Okay, so we'll just go to the headline, which is the big headline that says terrorist plant explosive in Niger farms and orders. I thought this had calmed down after we had Donald Trump.
What Trump did was, nobody ever looked at Sokoto. But as you know, a thief will not strike in his area. His area is his comfort zone. You go out there, do what you want to do, come back home. What Trump demonstrated was to show us that, look, all the places we were fighting terrorism was not where it was. If you want to kill the tree, kill the roots, and the tree will dry up. That's what Trump did there, and I think there might be a few more of that. Now, and this has really hit them hard, because now where their operational base has been discovered, let me put it this way, uncovered. I don't know if they've been completely decimated, but they've been exposed. So they're now scattered. They don't have that operational base to operate from anymore. Maybe there are others. And so they are taking desperate measures right now. What you see here are backlashes, all the attacks against villages right now, against this new one now, planting minefields, mines in farms and all that. Desperate measures. It just shows that these people don't mean well at all. They just want to wreak havoc, and they're not well-meaning in any
Don't
way.
you think it would have been wise that the federal government takes over from where Trump stopped? I mean, he had been able to identify where they are, and we were expecting that Nigerian military will move in immediately.
I think the cooperation should continue. I'll tell you why. Because our military, let me use straight language, our military is not pure. Sorry to use that language. It's been infiltrated. There have been recruitments, not the fault of those in power right now, but there have been recruitments. People, they have been infiltrated through recruitments. They have modes, they have agents within the setup. Because from what I gather, even when the Americans struck, they had gotten advance notice. Some of the key people left. They only left one leader behind with the others. So they also got advance notice. You can't trust completely. I think the cooperation should just continue. If you leave it entirely to our military, the military high command may be as sincere as whatever, but there are people within who are modes, who are agents, and that is not. I don't think we have confidence in them absolutely. But the cooperation, since it's a good cooperation between Nigerian government and Americans, it's fine. We are not surrendering our sovereignty completely. We are collaborating against a common criminal.
And you think that will work for us?
If we sustain that, I think it will work.
Hopefully it will work for us. But we have the big headlines on Daily Trust, which also says Castina killings, kidnappings return. And then on the top of the Daily Trust newspaper, we have PDP alive and strong. That's from Jonathan. the man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about.
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe.
That's what
And these
happens.
women would stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
The Ugewe is the final ceremony of the series of festivals. It is one of peace and lightheartedness, following the more solemn of the ritual year. Ugewe is the festival of the Ewe leaves, a symbol of good luck and joy. It is the most popular of all that heralds the dawn of a Benin New Year, new vow, newness of life and freshness of life, and a new hope for the future. In the evening, the Ewe leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style in a colorful ceremony. The Ihogbe society, amidst singing and dancing, bring the sacred leaves that symbolize good luck, blessings, peace, and prosperity. Each of the senior members of the Ihogbe proceeds to give the sacred leaves directly to the Oba of Benin, and others put theirs at his feet.
All right, thank you one more time. We apologize, we cannot continue with that paper review segment. The program is still on this morning on ITV, so we'll just take the first discussion this morning from Benin. And that is where we're going to be talking about things that are happening in this brand new year, 2026, whereby the federal government has, introduced or is introducing new strategies to curb examination malpractice in Nigeria. And it's a good one to know that the Federal Ministry of Education is following all that. Well, to discuss all these new strategies this morning, and let's see the practicability of these new strategies, and let's see how they are necessarily different from the one that we've had in the country. We are so privileged to have Honorable Ruben Ekoswehi. He's the zonal Vice President South-South of NAPS. NAPS stands for National Association of Private Proprietors of Secondary Schools in Nigeria. Honorable Ekoswehi, you're welcome to the program this morning on ITV. All right, so let's just start. Perhaps I may, start by trying to itemize some of these new strategies. For example, we have the one that has to do with the serialization or the randomization of questions and answers. We saw that last year during the last WAEC examination, and that played out. Then we also have the one that has to do with a unique examination learner's identity number. whereby all candidates will be assigned to a unique identifier to track their performance and enhance accountability. Then also the National Continuous Assessment, which one of the owners of private secondary schools is so involved in. The new National Continuous Assessment guidelines. Then also there's also a strategy that talks about the strict policy on candidates transfer. This has to do with a child is in SS1. Then because of the examination, he moves to SS3. That's where you have the miracle centers and all that. So we're going to be talking about how these new strategies that the government is putting in place, how is going to be practicable in the country. Let's start with the very first one, the one that has to do with the serialization of examination questions and answers. Now, we saw that a while ago, like I said, playing out in the last WAEC examination. But we also saw the problem that came with, a situation whereby it was reported that a particular model of an answer was used to mark all the questions, and that resulted into a lot of candidates, particularly in a subject like English language, failing that examination and all that. So let's, looking at the practicability of these strategies, what's your response?
Thank you, my brother. Viewer at home, I greet you all. Happy New Year. Sometimes it baffles me if the federal government really want to stop exam malpractice. One thing about us in this part of the world, Nigeria, is we are very, very good in theory, policy making. Before you know, maybe next year, another policy to stop exam malpractice will come. All these ones, they are termites. Which of them are we not be practicing before? They've not said before, apart from the serialization of questions to have said. But meanwhile, don't forget that JAM introduced this thing long ago. So let us pick it from there. Is just exam malpractice in JAM? If the answer is no, it means it will work in WAEC and NECO. If the answer is yes, it means it's a jamboree. We are just here. It's just to formulate theory, policy for formulating sake. So let's pick it from there, because JAM, I said no, it's not free from exam malpractice. And this is even before JAM enter CBT. When they were doing hard copy exam, they were already doing this serialization, where you are writing English, I'll be writing English. My number 1 may be number 11 in your own. My option A might be option D in yours. People still beat it.
Now, when you say JAM alone is not free from examination malpractice, what do you intend to say? Are you trying to say that some candidates that sit for the JAM examination, they still try to play fast one during the examination?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. In a simple term to answer, JAM is not free from exam malpractice.
All candidates somehow are still alleged to be involved in practice during JAM?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, but don't you think that these new strategies, that they will have a way of helping? Because what we saw last year, perhaps it was a litmus test to, this strategy, a situation whereby you and I may be attending to the same subjects, but we are not necessarily answering the same questions. The same number. So don't you think that it will enhance, curbing examination malpractice?
Fine. If you see what happened that last year, it's a sign of there's what we call fair, pass, merit. Their own was woefully failed. So if they really want to cope exam malpractice, either they go back to their drawing table and you just said it. How can you set exam serialization and you use one model to mark all the candidates? And the same exam was written in some centers 10 o'clock in the night, PM. So it's a sign of we are not prepared for all those things. So if
but that issue was addressed because it was this same thing that we're talking about now, that for the first time in Nigeria, perhaps in West Africa, with the West African examination, that we saw two sets of results coming out, particularly for the English language. So it was as a result of that. Within 3 days.
Okay.
Within 3 days. Yeah, within 3-4 days. I know what I'm talking about. You know, I'm a parent. I know what I'm talking about. You know, two sets of answers two sets of results coming out for a particular subject within 3 days.
What do you call that? Is that not part of the malpractice?
Yeah, but what we are saying is that, like what I said perhaps that was a litmus test for this new strategy that the federal government, because this year now, I mean, through the Federal Ministry of Education, the federal government wants to see that these strategies works out. I mean, they work out.
There have never been a time federal government or any arm of government formulate policy, they will tell you it's not going to work. But just as you said, the practicalization of it, that is what matters. See, we don't need to beat around the bush. If the federal government or any arm of government want to stop exam malpractice, they can. But not all this actualized method. If they want to stop it, they can.
Now, what do you mean by unactualized method? Are you saying that these strategies are not practicable? That's
WAEC and NECO exam is at the corner, isn't it?
Yeah, very close.
Probably will also come here to analyze it. Was there exam malpractice? If they really want to say it, let them. They are not ready to stop the exam malpractice, my brother. It's not by serialization. Randomization, transfer of candidate and all that. This is what we've been hearing over 20 years. The law has been there. Don't admit a certificate class in your school. It has been there, true of us. It has been there. Is there not still exam malpractice? Would that correct exam malpractice? To me, accepting examination class students, when they came with that policy, I didn't see it as what we correct exam malpractice. Rather, I see it as a way to standardize the school and the children, because a child might leave primary C somewhere and come to your school, or maybe leave GSS 1 and come to school B and say it's in GSS 3, simply because he want to fast forward his education. I thought that is the reason they formulated, although not really, no exam malpractice. Exam malpractice has to do with the conscience.
Yeah, there was a phenomenon that was creeping into examinations in the country. I mean, a new phenomenon of what's it called now? Miracle centers. I mean, you own a school.
See, listen, no, I'm coming.
Now, these miracle centers, they were said to be admitting students more in a certificate classes, in the GSS 3 certificate class, and of course the SS 3. So I think that was why the federal government had to put a stop, that don't admit students into these classes.
My brother, they said the identification of a problem is the beginning of the solution, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let the stakeholders sit down and identify the problem. What causes exam malpractice? Who promote exam malpractice? Then if you identify all these things, you know how to go. You know who to hold. You know who to pinch. You know who to, at least you now have a working a principle. Now the problem is this: if I ask now, who propagate exam malpractice? Let's start from there. Government will tell you private schools, isn't it? The other one will tell you no, the exam body. The other one will say no. So nobody today will say this is where exam malpractice come from. So how can you fight that kind of a thing? Exam malpractice, whether you like it or not, it has turned a social problem in the country.
Even at that now, what would you say? Just go on, let me
know. If you want to arrest exam malpractice, let's identify who propagate exam malpractice. 1, the government is involved.
How?
2, the school owners are involved.
How is the government
involved? I'm coming. 3, the parents are involved. 4, the least one is the children who are involved. They are involved.
Now, I can understand the one that has to do with the school owners, the candidates themselves, and of course the parents. I mean, this may be due to overzealousness and all that. But how do you think the government is involved?
That is why it will be difficult to fight. You easily know that of the private school, or that of the schools, easily know that of, because they are now the receiving end, isn't it? Now, let me tell you, there was a time motorcycle ply everywhere in this city. A word stop motorcycle within 2 days. Although now they are coming up, we don't know what is happening. We are not for that. If government is ready to stop exam malpractice, let them formulate policy that will be followed strictly.
Yeah, that's what we are asking.
No,
you just said the government is also, there are things that the government is doing to encourage examination malpractice. Now, the question I'm asking now, are there policies that you think that government has kept on, formulating or perhaps promoting that has also always encouraged examination malpractice?
See, let me tell you, if government want to stop exam malpractice, bring in a law or policy. For instance, any school, don't victimize people. Because one thing I discover in this country is when a policy is formulated like that, they use it to victimize people. You see them, the innocent suffered it, whereby the culprits actually go free. No, come up. If your school is caught in exam malpractice, it is open. Let that school not write exam for the next 5 years.
Yeah, but that has been on.
How many people have suffered it? It is easier said than done. Me, I'm now asking, how many people have suffered it genuinely? That because exam malpractice was found in my school, I'm not writing exam for 5 years. How many people have suffered it? That is what. Then, formulate then, you, the supervisor, because if you have it one way like that, then the supervisor may come and introduce it to your school, knowing fully when you are caught, you will suffer it. Now, the school will suffer it. In most cases, before now they were using teachers, isn't it? Government teachers to supervise. But with what we are seeing today, anybody can be a supervisor.
It's not just anybody. You can apply, and the appropriate authority will also do clearance on you.
That is what I'm saying. Now you appoint somebody who don't have stake as a supervisor. You understand? So if you caught him, even himself, doing the exam malpractice in the exam supervising, the best thing to tell is, we are stopping you, don't supervise again. He will go, probably has made what he want to make. If you use people who have stake, like let me say government school teachers or civil servants, when exam malpractice is caught in a particular school, this school will not write exam for so year, you, the supervisor, will be laid off of his job, terminate his appointment. You see that everybody will sit tight. Just there alone, everybody will sit tight. So far you follow it genuinely. I use the word, don't use it to victimize people. Because Mr. A speak against you yesterday, they are writing exam, you formulate, they are doing exam malpractice. No, let there be concrete evidence. If all those things are in place, my brother, forget all this, what's it called?
This new strategy.
This realization, this. And the people you also said, meanwhile, I have one policy. I have one saying that every policy formed in this country is to enrich some persons, especially the enforcers. That's why I said it's a matter of conscience. If you even put these politics in order, who is going to enforce it? Okay. The same enforcers you will send go there and take their cake and said it never happened. So that's why I said it's a matter of conscience.
Okay. Now let us look at the other strategies. We've talked about the randomization or the serialization of questions and answers, which you seem not to be in tandem with. Then the unique examination learners identity number. we've also seen that. The one that has to do with the new National Continuous Assessment guidelines, which you as a private school owner, you know, it's now before this time, what has been the guidelines for continuous assessments, you know, particularly for students in certificate class?
Rather, we are all rigmarole. There is always a continuous assessment. It come to a time while we are not say they are now doing, you do this continuous assessment long before the enrollment in order to check exam malpractice, isn't it? Yet we are here talking of exam malpractice. Okay, the one I was saying that I'm sorry when I say government. Now, if you now have a body who are now say Amedu consult, bring him to come and lecture education stakeholders. They don't do that. What do they do? They have no school. They have nothing. What they do is to enroll students. They enroll students. No school. They enroll students and take to a center to write. So government is not aware of that.
Now,
so how would that person promote his business if those students didn't perform well? Would he make sure? He will make sure that the students do well, so that tomorrow you have more patronage. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not against lecture centers. Lecture centers are extramural studies, isn't it? But in a way, lecture center now enroll students and take to regular school. And tomorrow, if that result is not good, then they feel the students will not market them and they will not have a good patronage tomorrow. Is government aware of that? He come to a time, some states, in South to be precise, lecture centers were now accredited. Now, let's put all those things.
Anyway, as we wrap it up now, because we have another issue we're going to be looking at today on this program, this morning on ITV. Now, let's quickly look at the one that has to do with technology-driven solutions. That has to do with the government will deploy technology to enhance monitoring and supervision during examinations. So what's your take on that as one of the strategies?
I don't really know the kind of technology, whether there's going to be CCTV in all the centers. See, not until I understand how that technology will work, it will be hard to speak, it will be difficult to speak on what I don't know.
Yeah.
So let me see, let them come out to tell us the kind of technology they want to employ. Is it camera and CCTV in all the centers? Is it they want to send an invisible robot that will move? I don't really understand.
Anyway, the issues are still ongoing, but quickly, as we finally wrap it up, how do you think that stakeholders like you are stakeholders, what are their contributions in ensuring that these strategies that they work? Because the issue of examination malpractice in Nigeria is almost very alarming, I must say.
Very, very, very. Like, let me tell you, in my school, I don't believe on this interview before I employ you. My first point of interview is, if you like, write 15 pages of application. I'll collect it from you. Right there, I'll give you paper. My brother, see mess up. The results show 2-1. A graduate. The right application in my presence, just prepare a seat for intake. You see mess up. You, if a sharp primary 4, write that kind of a thing, you flog hell out of that child. Why? It's exam malpractice. So me, I'm not comfortable with it. That is why I'm not trying to be personal. I've run a school for some years now. So it is less than 4 years now. I apply for this external exam.
All right, so
because
like
I'm not comfortable with it.
Other school owners like you, what should be their role in ensuring that these strategies work? That's the question.
My brother, when there is, if you have, you use. If you don't have, you can manage. Isn't it? The private schools owners are there to take to any government policy or instruction. But the problem is the follow. If you have a guide, if your children know, daddy say this thing, if I touch this remote and daddy get to know, he will deal with me. Whether you are there or not, they won't touch it. Isn't it? But if they know that daddy is a toothless bulldog, although he said we should not use remote, Samson use it the other day, even break it, daddy can not talk, they will start playing with the remote. So if the school owners actually see the government following what they said to letters,
they will key in.
They will key in. Okay. But now you say it, you don't implement it. Even when you want to implement it, you use it to victimize people. So how will it work?
All right, Mr. Ruben, I want to say thank you so much for joining on this program today. Like I said, that the strategy is one of the brand new things that education sector in the country is going to be witnessing. It's still a brand new year, 2026, and we are having new brand strategies that the federal government is trying to promote. The one that has to do with enhanced question randomization or serialization. We saw that last year, whereby students wrote examinations, same questions about different answers, all together. The unique examination learners identity number is also there as one of the strategies. Then new national continuous assessment guidelines is there. Strict policy and candidate transfer is also there. Technology-driven solutions, then strengthened oversight is also one of the strategies that the federal government is imbibing. This year. We have series of examinations this year, 2026. The joint admission and matriculation examination JAM is so close around April this year. That's going to be the first examination. Then you have the May, June is also there. Then the private, the WAEC for private candidates sometime in October is also going to be there. So these are major examinations in the country. Honorable Ruben, I want to say thank you one more time for coming on the program. We'll take a short pause now so that we do another discussion here in Benin. Please stay tuned.
This is an Egbete community situated in Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence. The inhabitants of the community migrated from Benin, the cradle of black civilization, a kingdom where king is truly king. The ancestors of Anegbete saw that age was the main determinant of leadership in the rural setting, and the eldest man in the settlement was regarded as the leader who presided over meetings, and his authority is held in high esteem. To further strengthen this unique system of leadership, age group evolved in Anegbete. In Anegbete, age group is categorized into two, that is the common and the noble. Anegbete is rich in cultural heritage, as the community at noon saw the commitment of the festival with the first set rolled out in beauty colors to showcase their might and strength, indicating their feet and ready for the responsibilities behold on them. The streets in the community with a feed up of young men and women adorned with the festival. Later, the royal family takes the stage as their children fight out royally and and work in the community to showcase their might and fitness.
Hold on.
All right, thank you one more time. The program's still on your television, this one on ITV. Oh yes, the whole razzmatazz of the 2027 presidential election actually starts this year, 2026. I mean, talking about the voters registration exercise and of course party primaries. We're going to be witnessing all this year, 2026, particularly the party primaries for political parties, because by January, February next year, most by February next year, 2027, we're going to be having the presidential election. And of course, the issue of continuous voters registration is an issue that we must talk about, most especially when we understand that there is a resumption of it now by INEC. So we're going to be doing that, doing discussion on that in the next couple of minutes, and also to look at the implication of the National Assembly constitutional amendment bills, the implication whereby state houses of assembly have not transmitted the bills to the National Assembly has not transmitted the bills to the State House of Assembly. We're going to be discussing all that. Now, to discuss all that with us this morning, we are so privileged to have Prince Israel Oreha. He is the Executive Director, Connected Advocacy. Sir, you're welcome to the program this morning on ITV.
Very good morning to you all, listeners.
Okay, and also join us virtually this morning, Eremosele Hiswa is also with us, a political scientist, and is joining us virtually from Ekpoma. Mr. Eremosele, you're welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, all right now. All right, so perhaps I will start with you, being you're joining us from afar. Now, the continuous voters registration has resumed. It's been on for quite some time now. Now, give us your take on, I mean, the perception on how you think Nigerians have been taking advantage of this exercise. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's come back to Mr. Israel Oreha. What's your perception a bit with the continuous voters registration?
Yeah, to me, I think my perception is this: citizens-led actions must be driven with urgency, in the sense that we don't wait until it's 2 days to elections or a month till you start all the necessary rush. Citizens, on their own part, it's time you play your own role, as in go get yourself registered if you've not done that. And also, INEC also have the duty to also remind the citizens that it is their right to go get registered, so that all these processes will be done before the commencement of the election calendar. And this will give INEC also enough time to properly plan their activities and also implement without further delay. So, and also our culture of last minute, I think there is still time. Because right now you can do your registration at the 18 local governments of INEC office, and it's open, no crowd right now. But must you now wait until, like they say, it's a week to, we have more 1 week, you see crowd. So that culture of let's do that last minute rush should be discouraged. So it's our time. Citizens should go out there to go get registered. If not, if you want to do your transfer, this is also the best time, so that INEC will also have enough time to produce these materials before the election, then distribute, because it's a value chain completely. So that is why there is need for increased sensitization now from the INEC office also, and also, as you guys are also talking about it, the need for citizens to come out to go do this activity. It will really help and reduce that culture of last minute.
Okay. Now, Mr. Ramosele, you're joining us from Ekpoma. Now, what is the situation like? I mean, the continuous voters registration exercise. What is the situation like in Ekpoma?
Well, let us look at the general aspect of it. We, generally, let us look at the general aspect of it. We have 1 week to go. 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 We INEC has resumed the CVR across the nation. In Edo State, we want to encourage them to make it available, to make themselves accessible by the citizens in the 192 wards and 18 local governments in Edo State. This time we have to, be re-equipped ourselves, especially the electoral umpire, the electoral body, by way of reaching out to the people. I think there should be nearness, whereby the people can easily access the areas of registration. Because at this time, we need to register massive persons. And there should be this encouragement against apolitical. How do we do that? Is to ensure that the people get to meet the electoral bodies, the electoral body, the electoral officers that have come to register the people. Because this time there are people that have gotten to the age of 18 at this time, and there are some persons that are more than the age of 18 or up to the age of 18 that have not registered before. So it is time for sensitization. It is not just only going there to register. Let us sensitize our people on the need to register as voters. Let them know that it is not only by voting election, they also need the voters card in order for them to know that they are Nigerians, which is very, very important. Voting election is their civic rights, which is very important. Then we have to encourage them. Like I said, we have to motivate the people, mobilize them, sensitize them. That is where we have the National Orientation Agency need to come in. And the electoral body, political parties also need to come in. Because one of the functions of political parties is political education, to educate the people on the need to register. One thing political party needs to understand again, because they need these persons to vote for their candidates. Therefore, they need to go out to sensitize the people and motivate them to come and register. Like I said, lastly, in order not to miss words, there should be nearness. We should not take the area of registration far from the people. I think in those days, 2011, we were able to access different areas to register. So you check out some primary schools close to some persons, also secondary schools, and even some churches close to people. People go there to vote, to register. Not taking it to, for example, we have a place like you take it to a place that is far from the people. Then people find it difficult. Some persons look at it, I'm going to pay transport to go to this place. And they look at that, it is my money I'm going to spend. So why am I stressing myself? Let us make it stress-free to the people. Put it close to them so that they can register. Because we need more persons to register in this, because we have many persons in Nigeria that have not registered. So we need them. Let them come out to exercise their franchise. It will be better for the country, Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Now, Prince Israel, now for me, I don't know whether you are concerned to, because when we talk about the registration exercise now, perhaps there are two aspects of it. There is the registration, and of course there is the distribution. Yeah. Now, it is one thing to be registered. It is another to actually distribute the cards. Yeah. Now, what would you say? What are your concerns? Because oftentimes we hear INEC come out to complain that eventually voters don't come to pick their cards. So how would you want to suggest to INEC to enhance this distribution exercise of the cards?
First, citizens, they've lost confidence in the electoral process. So most times, they use that electoral card as means of identification. Now it's like it is difficult to get, so they now fall back to the NI. But we need to reorient the citizens.
Is it it's difficult to get, or the citizens?
The process.
Difficult to get?
The process, like you register, wait for the process. Maybe it goes there, it tells you it's not available yet. Check again in a month time or in a week time.
But that's not a fault of the citizens. That's the problem of INEC.
Yes, but it has been like a trajectory over time.
Okay.
So that is why we say the need for INEC now to change the narrative and improved voters' confidence must start now. Why? First, they must conscientize the citizens on the reasons why they need to go get this card, not just for personal identification, but to make them vote and let their vote count. So if that is injected into the populace with constant awareness, they will see it as imperative. Okay, it's my civic duty to perform this right, and now I'm gotten to 18. I should have a voter's card.
We are talking about the distribution, the distribution here, because I don't know, the way it is alleged in some other climes, whereby you have the mass distribution of the cards or distribution by proxy is an allegation, though. Now, some analysts have said that perhaps INEC may do that. I mean, mass distribution, distributes by proxy, so that at the end of the day, people will be encouraged that, okay, maybe one head, a community head can give it to me instead of, individual boarding to go and pick the card. What do you think about that?
For that, so many lacunas are involved, because most times the community head may have an interest in a particular party. And if that citizen does not align with that particular party, he may not find his card. So that is why the need for nearness to the people is also imperative, in as much that it's the duty of INEC to ensure that everyone turn 18 or you are transferring have access to these things without stress that will enable them discourage of participation. So citizens are lost hope, interest, and the like. So INEC need to build that confidence to say, okay, we are changing our modus operandi. We need to do something differently this time. Our citizens come out now, register, so we can prepare your card on time. And they can also do postal services if they want, and collaborate with Nigerian Post Services for even distributions to the populate. This is what we can do. We have that resources to do that. So if you want to do something new, I think these are innovations we need to put in place to ensure, and those who are also tech savvy, they can also make it accessible online, and while they can also have it readily available on time. Because this will also help boost voters' confidence. I want to see the need to have a card.
Okay. Now, Ramosele, the issue of the ongoing constitution amendments, it's generating reactions among Nigerians. I mean, the National Assembly seems to be slowing down and transferring their own version of what they have amended to the state houses of assembly so that they can have the implication. Don't you think that this is taking too much of a time? That's one question. And if eventually this is the situation now, or that is the situation as it were, what do you think are the implications of this at the end of the day?
Well, concerning constitutional amendments, what I would like to say is to look at the rigidity of the system. When we talk about a rigid constitution, that is a written constitution. You see, written constitution takes time to amend, and especially in a democratic setting, where we have different areas that need to be looked into and be considered, which is paramount. Let me make it clear to you that in a democratic setting or in a written constitution, a federal system, constitutional amendment does not take a short period of time to be done, unlike the unitary system of government. Why I am concerned about is that because there are many things that need to be attached to, which is very, very important. So I would not want to fault the National Assembly in that, but they should take that time to get the best for us, which is very, very important. By the time they take that time, the only thing is the consciousness, which is very important, and the mindset towards that constitutional amendment, which should be put in place. I think we'll get the best out of it. Meanwhile, let us look at our, be that as it may, like I said, let us look at the electoral system, which is very, very important. We need to get the best in our electoral process, which will be important to the citizens. Now, like we talk about distribution, I want to digress a bit. Distribution of voters' card. Why not we? Is it difficult for Nigeria or the electoral body to go to different areas that can meet the people, where we have the numbers? You understand the number, the voting place. Go there, sensitize the people. Let them come out. For example, you have a particular, let's say, a particular street maybe adjacent to that particular area. You bring them together. Please, we are distributing voters card in so area. Then you have these people come. I think we will have people that will collect their voters card massively. Then we're telling people to come to maybe the INEC office or come to a central point to collect voters card. And you know quite well that people find it very difficult to go to all those places because sometimes, let me use this word, sorry to say this, people sometimes they are, in fact, they are reluctant or lazy in that particular aspect to come out. So I think INEC officials should come close to the people. Let them have this. Go to their streets. Go to the areas. They can combine 4 streets or 5 streets together. They come a place that is near to them. They can come there and collect their voters card. I think it will help us to distribute massively in this regard. So we should not sit down. We should go to the people, not let people to be coming to us all the time. You understand? Because the people are already having political indifference in the system. So it's for us to build confidence in them that this something is very important. We also love them for them to come and vote and their vote to count. I think it will pass message to the citizens. Lastly, yes, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Eromusele. Now, the program is still this morning on ITV, and we are looking at 2 key issues. First and foremost, the resumption of the continuous voter registration exercise, the distribution of these cards amongst Nigerians, and of course, things that we should do to enhance the distribution of these cards. Then we are also looking at the ongoing constitution amendments in the country. As it stands now, the National Assembly is being faulted by state houses of assembly that they are yet to receive copies so that they can have their input in this ongoing process. Now, Prince Israel, because we hear, I don't know when the phenomenon of pardon came into, you know, I mean, Nigerians, 1st of January 2026, we were greeted with the new tax policy regime, how it was not what was gazetted that was in the public space and all that. Now, all this may happen as a result of delays and all that. Now, we have a situation at hand now. The 36 houses of assemblies, you know, they are forcing the National Assembly that, hey, let us see what you have done. Let's see so that we can have inputs. Now, don't you think that at the end of the day, we may be having a situation of whereby we have a padded constitution and that will generate another bouts of, you know, arguments and, you know, debates and all that in the country?
Evans, my take here is, one thing, what will you be remembered for? Citizens are losing confidence in the 10th House of Assembly now because of this amendment has started since 2024.
Yeah.
And Section 9 of the 1999 Constitution as amended says that it requires for any amendment to third majority.
Yeah.
And 24 state houses of assembly must assent to those amendments before it can become a law. Right now, this delay tactics has serious implications for this current National House of Assembly.
Now, what do you think is necessitating the delay?
Yeah, it could be based on political reforms that they don't actually want to come to bear.
The houses of assembly?
Yeah, the national houses of assembly, because
the state houses of assembly.
The state houses of assembly cannot work
without the
transmission of this particular bill. So the issue now is National Assembly pass the constitutional amendment bill to the states so that they can work. Right now, we don't even have time. We are now in the eve for elections, but you still are dragging to pass an amendment you started since 2024, 2014,
2024, yeah.
So right now, youth electoral reforms, gender inclusiveness, the offenses tribunal, creation of states, all these are all citizens' yearnings and aspirations that they took the federal government money to do various community engagement, public hearings, and now it's time for you to transmit for State House of Assembly to carry on this work and also pass it, and also it will also ensure true federalism, cooperative reforms between the federal and the state. So right now, if you only leave these reforms in your desk, you did not transmit it, is also negating the true federation we are practicing. And also undermining citizens' confidence in the current National Assembly. Because what will you be remembered for if you cannot pass a reform in your own time? Because for the next 6 months now, there will be how they want to come back.
Elections.
Yes, pre-election activities have already started. Yeah. And now you are delaying this thing because part of it is the independent candidacy that young people wants to take part in. Like we champion campaigns around youth electoral reforms, the Yep Niger campaign, why citizens must put in their own interest to ensure that these reforms reflect the citizens' cry. But one thing we are seeing there, one thing we are seeing there now is that they are delaying this because there are independent candidacy there, there are offenses tribunal matter there, and there's also around the reserve seat for women. It's also part of the amendment that they've said they will pass, and amongst others, the local government and various autonomy and the like. But right now, they are foot dragging in transmitting this because they've not even voted on them.
All right. So, Princess Israel, I want to say thank you. I would have loved this discussion to continue, but we'll have to join my colleague, Atolokwe in Abuja, so that we'll take our discussion from them. Thank you so much for joining. And also thank you to Romosele, who joined us from Ekboma this morning. All right, so Lokbe, you're going to be talking about the 2027 elections, party defections, and of course, challenges. Tolu.
Thank you so much, Evans, right there for that deliberation. Moving for conversation, and this time we will surely be talking about the 2027 elections. Also, what is happening in the political landscape. There's been a lot of defections. Maybe just moving from one party to the other. What impact will this have on the 2027 election? And joining me live via WhatsApp this morning is no other person than the former IPAC chairman, talking about Chief Peter Ame. It's a pleasure to have you this morning. A wonderful morning to you. Yeah, we're talking about Chief Peter Ame joining us via phone this morning to take a look at what is happening in the political landscape, and also talking about reactions, trading that, and a whole lot of interesting thing in that perspective right there, and finding a lasting solution. And also looking at it going to the election. What a wonderful morning to you, Chief Peter Ame.
Hello.
Yeah, you are on live this morning right there on independent television. We're taking a look at what is happening in the political landscape in the last few months. There's been a lot of defections, major stakeholders moving to align and to realign. What do you make of this?
For me, it is about power for the APC. Desperately, that have performed very badly in the last term. In fact, in the last 10 years, the APC government have not been able to deliver any of the promises, the euphoria that brought them into power in 2015. They have, the Nigerian economy's, how they call it, outlook has been downgraded on several occasions and continues to, affect the poor and downtrodden on a daily basis. So for them, they believe by, consolidating through defection or try to, in this, the West.
Try to reconnect with Peter Ame right there, talking about what is happening in the political landscape, and also finding a lasting solution right there. He was talking about what is happening with the major ruling party, and the fact that some major stakeholders are joining from one place to the other right there. What it makes of this, and how best we can be able to find a lasting solution. And what this we have on the situation of the country right there. Hopefully we can have him back to join us on this issue right there, as he was talking about that. And also, okay, you are back with us, Chief.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Over the years, from 2003, 2007, 2011, you look at the election data, you discover that our elections are becoming more transparent, are becoming better. But it is just the human hand that are weakening the election further. And if the people could have decided a 6.1 million vote for a party that came into the fray of a contest at least 6 months to the election, imagine if all the opposition are all out together and they work hand in hand with themselves, putting themselves on the ballot. I think it's not going to be an easy ride for the ruling government, as many people assume. This is judging from my own understanding of the political dynamics of this country.
Okay. In light of what you have, there's something you said that is very, very germane, and it has to do with the fact that it seems majority of the opposition are swinging to APC. The story about Kano State Governor, also the camping to join APC, not to talk about the other states happening there. Fubara recently joined APC. Does that mean it's a guarantee that APC will sweep the presidential election come 2027? Okay, can you hear me? Can I take the question again? Okay, I was talking about the fact that in the last few months, we see situation where governors have decamped from their party to the other. Recently, there's so much talk about Kano governor also joining APC. Now we talk about Fubara, who decamped recently. Is there a guarantee that APC will totally sweep the presidential election in all states in 2027?
That guarantee does not exist. If you talk of Kano, the Abba you are talking about had to ride on the back of Kwakwaso's movement. Yes. And that Kwakwaso movement is a red cap movement in Kano that talks about the Talakawa interest and the interest of the, not the interest of the bourgeoisie. So it's going to be difficult if Abba leaves. Nobody knew Abba until he started contesting under the umbrella of Kwakwaso. Nobody, they could know him in the state, but he wasn't popular across Nigeria. Yeah. So at the end of the day, Kwakwaso gave him that cover that made him the governor eventually, coming from a unknown party. So you should see the power behind the movement and stop looking at individuals who became governor.
Thought it may really be rearing its ugly head come 2027. But I'm sure you're also following what is happening in Rivers State between Fubara and Wike, and also the mudslinging between APC and Wike. What do you make of this?
For Wike, it's a pity. For Fubara, it's also a pity. Because at the end of the day, it is Wike that is Tinubu's man. And if you look at what Tinubu did to Ambode in Lagos, I think that same treatment, no matter how powerful Fubara I think he is today, as the leader of the party, it boils down to who will submit the delegate list that will be approved by the party. Because if the delegate list of Wike is submitted, since the state chairman is with him, and if the delegate list is accepted, then what happens to Fubara? Because you can grandstand. A lot of people can tell you all sorts of things because they could come and get money, just like, Wike, I've never been a fan of Wike, but the truth in Nigerian politics, when you start to see people, drag towards the governor of oil-rich state like this, where there's so much resources, you find people go there, they can't say anything now. They can do whatever they have to do so that the governor thinks they are with him, and the governor will start to dish out some level of favors. But at the end of the day, he has to sit down and look at the delegate primaries. Who will produce those lists? Who is in charge of the party structures of the APC in the state? Can he change those party structures before the next election, before the next primaries? Because if not, he might be, working on eggshells. And at the end of the day, when it cracks, those people talking, the national secretary talking today, the national chairman was very tactical when he says that whoever win primaries, he will support. So he will call you leader of the party, but you have the strength to deliver delegates. So, but at the end of the day, there is two people who have lost. Even if Wike wins at the primaries eventually, the river peoples have lost so much. He has lost so much because today, the state that was impenetrable for people to come and be saying all sorts of things to visit, and now become available for all sorts of persons to, throw jabs at him. Because for me, democracy should be at the core foundation of our discussion. If Fubara knew that he was popular, and he knows that it is possible for his people to follow him, I do not see any reason why he wouldn't have shown enough strength and capacity to learn from what Bola Ahmed did in Lagos and stayed despite the onslaught, put against him by the PDP government or Obasanjo and Co. You look at what Abia State governor is doing today, and people are saying, because if you walk, you do not need cameras for advertisement. The people becomes your advertising agency. The people will carry their handphone and start to promote you. And on election day, they will also become your defender. So I do not see the reason why he has to, fall into this strife. But at the end of the day, both Wike, Fubara, and the people of Rivers State are the losing end. Because politics are eventually triumph over the governance and good governance and development of Rivers State.
There's one major thing that I think we need to shed light on about the intricacies of what is happening in Rivers State. When we put into consideration the fact that Wike is not a member of APC, Fubara has switched camp to APC. Majority of the House of Assembly in Rivers State have switched to APC. But from what you are seeing, from what is on ground right now, do you think Wike is still controlling the structure in Rivers State, even those in APC?
Wike is doing the assignment given to him by the president to PDP so that the PDP cannot breathe. So that he will continue to put his nail on the neck of the PDP. Why PDP is taxing, let the PDP breathe. Why the leaders are saying, let us breathe. He will continue to press the neck of the PDP because that is the assignment given to him by the president. He has not deviated. So not being a member of the APC today is to be able to carry out the function of the illegal authority given to him by the president to make sure that the PDP does not start. This is not only me. It has been confessed by people who were in the meeting where we came off our PDP, and took it to Igalo for slaughter. So it has been by Sheyi Makinde. He has said it in an open air. So all this contradictory statement that will come after, we now eventually have an eyewitness, a ear witness, who heard, who saw what happened and how the PDP is suffering and gasping for help today. So people talk about, Wike is not a APC person. Why, if it goes to APC, PDP will be free. So, and if PDP is free, they feel that the opposition not having a candidate for the 2027 election would be better for them, so that they can run an unopposed election. But unfortunately for them, these other politicians that they are dealing with are actually very experienced politicians who have decided to get a party and use it as a vehicle. And if these people are not taking notice or cognizance of the things that are happening in the state, if you look at the state and the level of people that are decoming in the north, people are saying by Malami, Today, Malami is in jail from 1 year sitting out to DSS. These are all kind of gimmicks we have seen under the PDP. We also see the same thing under the APC. That they use state authority, state power, to make sure that those who are popular with the opposition are subdued. Because I do not, in a fundamental system, if you already have a prima facie case established by against the person, you follow the court process. You don't have to make the person incommunicado. Because you can see politics at play. So, for if you look at people becoming in the state, they also have equal popularity to people in government in the state. I am a politician. I speak to a lot of my friends across party line, and I can tell you that there's palpable fear, there's jittery among those who are in power. So what they need is an election that is not transparent, an election that is not credible, an election that will fail integrity test. That is what they are pursuing. But if they are saying that the people are now organizing, and the level of organization that is coming from the opposition, I do not see how APC wants to write the results in 179,000 polling units and take without a revote. Because they are going to be looking at a very dangerous action that might have a counter reaction to whatever decision they are taking if it's not positive on the side of the people. So what people think should happen is that those who have the popularity, who feel that they can win it, the Bola people think he can win, it should go to the ballot and allow a transparent process. If it doesn't allow it, I'm very sure at this time, Nigerians are heading up to their neck, and we also want to see in their lifetime a governance system that protects the interests of the majority rather than protecting the interests of the very few.
Okay. Why Wike is holding PDP by the jugular and they are battling for breath? ADC is also trying to put together a party that can give ADC is also trying to put together a party that can give APC a run for their money. But also some of the major gladiators behind APC, you just mentioned Malami, is also battling for his own life. With the way things are right now, can ADC give us the desired opposition that every Nigerian wants to give APC a run for their money? Do you think they can do that?
I've told you there's this southern and northern dichotomy, silent power arrangement that exists in this country.
Okay.
The APC leaders must sit down and clearly and critically examine issues as what will happen. Because if you are not in power, what you need is the power of the people.
Yeah.
If you are not in power, what you need is the momentum that will come from the people. You don't control state apparatus of authority. You don't control state instruments of force or coercion. So what you need is who amongst these candidates that are running around, when Nigerians go to the polling booth, get injured like happened in Lagos, at least stand their ground to defend their booth. Because at the end of the day, if you look at this game that Tinubu is playing, what Tinubu wants, I'm telling you, I can be quoted anywhere, that there's no southern candidate on the ballot. That is why you see as the first is southern arrangement, so that they can now be able to decisively say, I'm coming from the south. Go and look at the 2011 election map. With the southern Nigeria and the middle belt, the president emerged. And the north center per se, the president emerged, which is Jonathan. The map is very clear.
Yeah.
The whole north voted for Buhari. The whole north. Or he won all the states, but could not get to the south. He lost. So we must have an arrangement between themselves. People talk about delegate primaries. I've been national chairman, I've been chairman of IPA, secretary of IPA. I've been in the party system for a long time. INEC have not established or any genuine technology that could help monitor party delegate processes and deter it from being an entrenched process of corruption. A deepening process of corruption. It hasn't. Because I was speaking to a friend yesterday who was telling me, one candidate spent 400 million per state in the APC primaries, one presidential primaries. I should tell people that I know she will hold like 1 billion per state. Imagine if you will carry 36 billion to run for primaries. You can imagine that. What is left? So this is a challenge of our primaries because those delegates will come from the state. Most of them will be trading their ballots for delegates. So I've never seen primaries as a true test of popularity. It's not as if I'm afraid, but I'm telling you, in an American system, you will see what how their primaries are conducted. You will see how Donald Trump, who lost the election, where the stronger forces within the administration the stronger forces within the administration in Republican Party. First, since it's the most popular, let it go on. But pride, what will destroy the opposition will be pride, will be ego, it will be driven by selfishness, and it will be driven by disrespect for silent arrangements that have existed, between the North and South on the issue of power rotation.
Okay. I must ask you this before I let you go. I know one of your favorite politicians is Peter Obi, but he's also contesting against Atiku Abubakar on ADC for the primary ticket. And Atiku Abubakar, ADC has come out to say everybody will go to primaries. Can you beat your chest and say Peter Obi will emerge? When you are put into consideration, you are contesting against Atiku, who has never lost any primaries when it comes to PDP. Do you?
Who have also never won any election when it comes to after winning primaries. So,
what's your own take on this? Do you think Peter Obi can pick the ADC ticket?
I really wish the ticket is given to him, but wishes are not horse. That beggars will ride.
Yeah.
So I really wish they should give to him. It's not because I know him. I know almost all the presidential candidates, but it's not because I know him. And you know that Obi is not driven by. Obi is not the politician you want to be with and say you want to, be getting cheap money. Obi will be telling you how to invest your money, how to help you get money to invest. So we are not there. Nobody's supposed to be based on what we will get. But people have seen that Obi has character. Look at what is happening in Abia. Abia has been in darkness for all these years since 1999. But with purposeful and well-driven leadership, look at what is happening. The joy is so much. We have Nigeria has so much resources. The waste in our resource management, the misallocation, misalignment, and misappropriation is the reason why we are poor, why people are suffering. So you need somebody that has the microeconomic understanding that can know how to cut costs, how to reduce cost of governance, how to reduce the bloated expenditure that we are running. Today, Trump said they are going to be drilling the Venezuela. If they start to drill, the price of crude oil might drop, my barrel. And if it drops, our budget has finished because we depend on one monoproduct economy. With our benchmark of 1.something million barrels per day, we will not be able to meet it. So we need to be able to have a focused leadership. And that's why I've always supported to do. But for the primaries, I can't be a soothsayer, but I wish he can emerge so that the momentum on the side of the opposition can work.
Interesting right there, talking about the way things have panned out and a whole lot of things. I know I said that was probably the last question, but I must ask you this before I let you go. In the light of what is happening, the election in Federal Capital Territory, the local government elections will also be happening in the month of February, February 4th to be precise. What do you make of what is happening in the Federal Capital Territory? Do you think the people of FCT can really determine who gets to man these local government areas, their councillorship? What do you make of some of these candidates?
For me, there are a lot of good candidates in this election. And the problem we have with the FCT is especially for the area council election, the citizens are not really interested in it, and they don't know how critical these area council elections are. The FCT area council is only about the 6 area council are only among the local government in Nigeria, because they're not counted among the 774. They are area councils, but they have the functions of running a local council. But the kind of power they have to be able to create infrastructure, to be able to help the city to become a more cosmopolitan in its nature and its character is enormous. But most citizens are not aware. They focus on national election, and the voter turnout naturally is very low. And then you find out that people who win will be people who can turn out more electorate to vote on the voting day. So the opposition can win. The opposition has always won in area council election.
Yeah.
In Gwagwalada, Abga won. I can list a lot of them. Opposition has always won because Abuja is an enlightened society where people follow their mind, where people know the cause and effect of inflation, and high price of goods and commodity. People understand the dynamics and the economic principles of scale. So it's really important that people come out to participate and people vote for credible candidates that are on the ballot. and that will be able to deliver for the people, and that is clear, because if you talk about the those who are in the PDP who now decamp to the APC to contest, they should bring their scorecard to what they have done for the FCT people. They are collecting radio and radio levy. They are collecting all those ground rent and all this other rent. And what have they used the resources to do? You know, so these are the challenges that we have. So anybody in power cannot be campaigning that opposition is stupid, opposition is this. No, you'll be campaigning on what you have delivered for the period you are in office. Why the opposition will be campaigning on what they intend to deliver when they are elected into office. These are the two sides of campaign that we should have. I'm already in power. These are the things I have done. Not that you say opposition has big head, they have small head. All this unorganized level of campaign, and we should run away from it, where we should go to real issue-based campaign. Oh, these are the things I've done since you elected me. This is how I better the lives of the people. Oh, this is what I would do when you elect me. This is what I would do to better the life of the people. These are the two sides of the divide. But for me, I feel the APC, PDP APC that is in FCT today has really failed to defend the right of the people. They have failed to defend the collective goodwill that was given to them as PDP candidate, as against the APC candidate they contested against. So they should be able to lose that authority to govern the area councils.
I must say a big thank you to you, Chief Peter Ame, for joining us this morning and for shedding light on this as we are looking for towards 2027 election, put into consideration the defection and challenges ahead. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I wish you the best right there. Talking about Chief Peter Ame, linking up with us ahead of 2027 election. So much from the Abuja Network Studio. We'll be linking up with our Lagos Network Studio as the conversation continues.
ITV, certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best.
All right, thank you one more time. The program's still on your television, this one on ITV. Yes, we are still right here. And like what we said a while ago, that the re-election activities, start this year, 2026. Well, it is not an election year, but the razzmatazz and, of course, the big political movements, the defections and the party primaries, all are going to be happening this year, 2026. Let's say for the party primaries. For the defections, it may happen anytime. All right, so we've seen the political, development too, especially the one that has to do with the Honorable Minister for the FCT, Nyesom Wike, and the very threatening influence it continues to have, in the ruling party, the All Progressives Congress. And we've seen the reactions and counter-reactions, most especially as it has to do with one of the APC's leaders that seems to be so concerned about the way Wike has been so influential with the All Progressives Congress. And of course, he has told him that, hey, look, I rule, this is my party. And of course, as a national leader of the party, I can decide to say, to take, my influence into, anything as far as the party is concerned. All right, so we have Tolu Lokbe right there, my co-anchor of the program this morning. Now, Tolu, the continuous domineering influence of Wike in political parties now. The reason why I'm saying political parties is that Wike has not formally told Nigerians that he's no longer a member of the PDP, but we've continuously seen his influence with the All Progressives Congress, the APC. I mean, only some few days ago, we saw the reaction coming from one of the leaders of the APC that, hey, Wike, you cannot be telling us what to do in the APC. I mean, this is not your party. And Wike told him that, hey, this is a River State. I reign supreme here politically. Now, Tolu, what is your concern? What's your take about this whole scenario?
Yeah, Evans, I think it's like a disaster waiting to explode, and it's bound to happen at one point in time. And that probably to a certain extent will also help the party members and Wike to also realign their relationship and see where it will take them at the end of the day. The fact remains that Wike holds sway when it comes to river politics. It controls the structure. I was talking with a guest earlier on, and I talked about the fact that whether you are in APC or you are in PDP, Wike still controls the structure of everything in River State. So it's going to be a tough one for Bora to be able to shift, probably say this is where he wants to go. And to a certain extent, though he's not a member of APC, it still determines what will happen in APC. And in fact, it remains that he worked directly with the president. And I think the president is still carrying out the job given to him by the president. So he must definitely see to the end of it. And I think at this point in time, every member of APC must also align with whatever Wike wants. A good thing, we have listened to the chairman of the party coming out that the primaries will determine who gets the ticket of APC at the end of the day. That's a safe way to go about it. Then pending when other factors will come into play to determine the final outcome of things. But I think with the way things are right now, the more slinging between both sides are coming out to talk about the APC National Public Secretary talking about Wike minding his own business, And also not forgetting PDP telling APC to take care of the demon they created is also an eye-opener for everybody. But I think at the end of the day, they would come to our line and realize everybody's potential and what they bring to the table. And I think it's too early for us to determine what will happen between both ends. But so far, we can still have the command of the president. It may be quite difficult for anybody in the party to say no to whatever he wants. So the 2027 election will be interesting. Whether Fubara will get the ticket or not will be a different ballgame entirely. But I'm looking forward to see how the whole thing will pan out. But there are interesting times ahead, I must tell you, Evans.
All right, talking about Fubara now and asking the question whether he's going to get the governorship tickets in Rivers State or not, that remains a big question that desires an answer. But I think with the recent moves that we've seen with Fubara, I mean, leaving the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, and settling for the All Progressives Congress, well, I don't want to say that that seems to guarantee the tickets. I mean, going by what Wiki also said, that if you like, you decamp, that does not guarantee the tickets for you for the next election. I'm sure he was referring to Fubara. But, you know, I don't want to say that it is perhaps it's only in Nigeria that once you join the ruling party, all seems to now all go well for you. I don't want to say that. But we've seen a situation whereby once, you know, the ruling party seems to have, you know, a major influence, political influence on all other political parties in the country. You know, we're talking about a situation whereby a federal political party that all hands are on deck to salvage. We have the federal structures. I mean, like the INEC. INEC is a federal structure. And of course, ordinarily, maybe INEC may also want to, you know, protect its own, so to say. You know, so for Fubara to have left the People's Democratic Party to settle for the APC, I think Fubara knows that is, you know, political analysts have said that that is the biggest game, that is the biggest strategy that Fubara has made. I mean, if eventually he does not become the next governor of Rivers State, but for the fact that he left the PDP and he's now in the APC, that's the biggest, smartest political move that he has made. But for Wike to want to insinuate that, look, if you like, you decamp from the PDP to the APC, it does not give you the automatic tickets. It now raises the question of what gives Wike that, you know, effrontery? What gives him that, you know, that authority, so to say? I mean, we're talking about an election that at the end of the day, the electorate will vote. It's not going to be decided by a particular political leader and all that, you know. So we begin to look at the whole issue and begin to wonder whether, you know, electorate, whether they really have a say in our political space. I mean, the continuous voters registration is on now, and the reason why INEC is calling Nigerians to take advantage of it is that at the end of the day, they are going to use those cards to vote. But here we are again, we are having some big-time politicians already making their postulations that, hey, you are not going to get the tickets. I mean, even if you have, you know, left the PDP and come to this party, you're not going to get the ticket. So, little wonder, where is now the voting ability of the electorate?
Evans, I don't think that is far-fetched when it comes to the fact that the political calculation of Fubara by dumping PDP to link up with APC. But that still does not guarantee him, cannot guarantee him picking the APC gubernatorial ticket. Especially when you put into consideration what happened to Ambode in Lagos. The fact that he was a sitting governor, but when he lost the face, when he lost the thinking of some of the major gladiators in the APC party in Lagos, even when they went to primaries, he lost scandalously. Fubara joining APC, fine to certain extent, give him a foot at the door, but does not give him the audacity to be able to kick the door open. And that's the way what Wiki is trying to tell him at this point in time. Especially when you look at the structure in place in Rivers State. Majority of the members of the House of Rep also joined parties and dump PDP for APC. The structure that was already set in place by Wike is still the structure that moved from PDP to APC, which Fubara was unable to control while he was in PDP. Now, moving to APC, does that guarantee that he's still being able to control that structure? The answer is no. And what determines, when you look at the elections that went down, majority of the seats were won by APC. And who made that possible? Wike. Let's not deceive ourselves about that. So Wike still controlled the political architecture of the state. So whether Fubara jumped ship from APC to PDP or PDP to APC, he still does not have the control. Though he is the leader, on face value, he's supposed to be the leader of the party in the state. But does he control the structure of the party in the state? The answer is no. So until he's able to find a way around that, or probably have a sit down with the devil, probably discuss with Wike and say, how can we ensure this will happen? What do I need to do to ensure that I get the second time ticket? Until he is able to do that, to a certain extent, he may be completing a political harakiri, like they say at the end of the day, talking about political suicide. Because jumping in to APC will not guarantee him that ticket unless he has power to control those structures in APC that determines whether he gets that ticket or not. Because looking at what happened in the local government election, that is at the state level, that would have given that opportunity to determine how the elections, the primaries will pan out. It does not have that power over that. At the National Assembly, it still does not have power over those people. That puts him in a political dilemma that he may not be able to get out of till the time of the election. And by that time, it may be difficult for him to now determine who gets, and put into consideration the delegate list. Who is going to be in charge of the delegate list for the APC convention in Rivers State that will determine the delegate that will vote? Will it be Fubara? If he does not have power over that, then he may not be able to decide how the election will pan out. And that's the political dilemma that Fubara will be in when the election, the primaries will be held in Rivers State. It's really a tough one for him at this point in time, I must tell you, Evans.
So look, at the risk of not trying to take sides, I mean, we are not politicians, but with the way the discussion is going, it appears that we have sides that we are supporting already. But, you know, in these parts of the world, in Nigeria, the dominating and domineering influence of state governors so much. I mean, let alone that the state governors now, they now belong to the ruling party. I think right now, for Wike, it's the most painful thing in Wike's political history now is the fact that Fubara defected from the PDP to the APC. I mean, it is giving Wike sleepless nights. I mean, just a few hours ago, I will read, you know, something to you, and I quote from Wike. I will be buried politically if Fubara gets a second term. That is Wike talking. I mean, for somebody that you think is not powerful, for somebody that you think that does not have a control on the political structure of the state, why are you so bothered that he has joined the APC? I mean, little wonder that, you know, Fubara really has some, you know, great power. And like what I said a while ago, that the state governors are the leaders of the political parties. And whether we like it or not, they have their own control, you know, that they have over these political, you know, parties. We know that somehow the primary elections are not on now, but when they eventually comes and when they start coming, you are going to see how Fubara is going to take over. It's going to take over the mantle of control of the APC in Rivers State. And the like of Wike knows, he knows this, and that is why for him now, it appears that for APC to have accepted Fubara is a big issue to him. Anyways, we're going to see the whole thing developing as it unfolds. But I think it is high time for Wike to come out and let us know where he belongs to. I mean, if he is in the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, let us know. And if he has joined, or if he's going to join the APC, let us know. Because time is ticking away. And of course, before you know it, there's almost not going to be no time. I mean, between now and June, it's just a window of opportunity that we have for other political issues to come up. By June, July, or at most by August, September this year, most of the parties would have named their candidates because next few months, that's January, February next year, is going to be the presidential election. So you see that our politicians should begin to let Nigerians know where they belong to now, so that they can build up on that, and so that they can build on their capacity to really win the election. Rivers 2027, this is another one now. Rivers 2027, Wike fires a strong warning to APC secretary, vows to reject order from above. You can see that the man is not comfortable anymore. You claim not to be in a party, yet you cannot leave that party alone. A governor that you said you have forgiven has left your own party, the PDP, and of course he said that when he was in the deep blue sea, when he was in trouble, nobody in the PDP could help him. And he's now in the APC, and yet you won't leave him alone. I mean, threats here and there that he's not going to get the second term. Why don't you just hold on and see how the whole thing pans out, you know, in the next few months to come? Cholu.
Yeah, I know definitely Wike would like to do that, but just like you mentioned earlier, it will be suicide for him if at the end of the day Fubara gets the APC gubernatorial ticket, and that will be the end of him. I want to see how that is going to happen at the end of the day. But APC is also trying to make Wike realize that they as a party do have their internal structure, and they know how things have been done. And I know that Wike behind the scene will also be pulling the strings, because at this point in time, he can't join APC. Because once he leaves PDP, it might be quite difficult for him to carry out the assignment he needs to do to put PDP on life support. And he knows that if he decides to leave PDP at this point in time and move to APC, he may not be able to do that, because he wants to see to the end of PDP. And for so many PDP followers, they also know that they are in a dilemma at this point in time, because you are not sure that you can be able to get the ticket, because you don't know whether once it gets to court, you may be able to lose out, because there are so many factions of the party right now. So you don't know which one has the total control of the party, or which one is recognized by INEC, which is also a major problem for any candidate running under PDP. So for that, Fubara to jump ship and move on to APC. But whether APC will give him ticket is a different thing entirely. But as the governor of the state, is the #1 citizen of the state, and is supposed to be the leader of the party in the state. But that is what we don't know right now. But just like you said, by June, July, we should be able to know who will get the ticket, who will be in charge in the state, and who will determine the outings. I know Wike will be fighting tooth and nail to ensure that Fubara does not pick that APC ticket. Does he have the power to be able to do that? I don't know whether he has that. But does he have the listening ear of the president? He does that. Can he be able to influence that? That's what we don't know. But it's going to be quite interesting. But I foresee a situation where the two of them will come to an amicable resolution, because in politics, there is no permanent enemy, only permanent interest. And these politicians, after we go on the pages of newspaper and TV and analyze, they may just be somewhere eating rice and chicken together and also finding a way around their problem. So there may be a possibility by the time it gets to that June, July, they may sit down and find a lasting solution, because it is all about interest at the end of the day.
All right, beautiful one there. So for us at Independent Radio and Television, we don't have a side that we join, we don't have opinion, but our responsibility here is to ensure that we let you know what is going on in the country. All right, so we'll take a short pause now for the news updates at 9:30. Stay tuned.
ITV, certainly the best.
A very good morning. You're welcome to the news updates at 9:30. My name is Evan Sunokogi. Some Benin City residents have called on the Edo State government to urgently restore sanity to the intra-city transport system, particularly through strict enforcement of the state-approved color codes for commercial vehicles. They say the measure will not only improve orderliness, but also help curb rising criminal activities linked to unregistered and improperly branded vehicles. Donald Hemiye brings the details.
Concerned residents of Benin City are raising alarm over what they describe as a growing disorder within the city's intra-transport system. They say the neglect of the state-approved color code of yellow and red for commercial buses and taxis have made it difficult to distinguish legitimate operators from criminal elements. Security stakeholders argue that proper vehicle identification remains a critical tool in crime prevention as it enhances monitoring, accountability, and quick response by law enforcement agencies. Some residents in Benin City lament harassment and insecurity, calling for stricter regulation and enforcement to restore confidence in public transportation.
Previously, we used to know that there was a color code, ox blood, and yellow, but right now, everything has gone haywire.
Can you try this in Lagos State? Say you are riding commercial buses. If you know you are not commercial, don't commercial. Than for you to be
Every colored vehicle for the state have a number. If any crime is being committed, you don't even need to look at the plate number.
It's unsafe. We started with color pedestrian for allow different colors to be used.
Responding to the concern, Edo State Commissioner for Transport, Honorable Saturday Idin, assured residents that the government is committed to sanitizing the transport sector. According to the commissioner, plans are underway to enforce compliance with approved color codes, strengthen monitoring mechanism, and work closely with security agencies to ensure safer movement within Benin City.
When we are going to start enforcement, we are not going to spare anybody, and we'll give them the time of grace since November till 12th of January, which is Monday coming week.
Stakeholders believe that sustained enforcement and cooperation from operators will go a long way in restoring order and improving public safety across the state capital. From Benin, Donant Ehiminyem, ITV News.
The Edo State Police Command has confirmed the death of Abu Tahir Babatunde, who was kidnapped along with his elder brother, Dr. Abu Ibrahim Babatunde, in Auchi, the administrative headquarters of Etsako West Local Government Area. The confirmation follows circulation of a video on social media showing a body abandoned by a riverside, alleged to be that of Abu Tahir Babatunde. Crime correspondent Jola Deljo reports.
The two siblings, Abu Tahir, who was a fresh medical graduate of Ambrose Ali University, and Abu Ibrahim Babatunde, who is currently undergoing housemanship at Edo University Teaching Hospital, Iyamo Uzairue, were allegedly kidnapped as they returned home from work along City Pride Road, Igbirakam, near their residence. Following the abduction, the family reportedly received a ransom demand of 200 million naira from the kidnappers on 3rd January 2026. However, on the 5th of January 2026, a video circulated on social media showing a body abandoned by a riverside, alleged to be Abu Tahir, prompting public outrage. While confirming the unfortunate development, the command's public relations officer, ASP Eno Ekoedem, said investigations into the incident commenced immediately the report of the abduction was received on 2nd of January 2026. She expressed sympathy on the tragic turn, assuring that efforts are being intensified to rescue the surviving brother, who is still believed to be in captivity, and to apprehend all those responsible for the crime.
The divisional police officer was immediately deployed to the scene, alongside the forest guards, vigilantes, and of course, volunteers from the Community Safety Partnership Initiative. And during such, unfortunately, the lifeless body of the younger brother was found, identified by the family, and taken for burial. The Commissioner of Police, CP Monday Agbonika, FDC, assures the good people of Edo State to please remain calm. The police is on top of this situation, and will make sure that no stone is left unturned until we secure the rescue of the doctor and, of course, the apprehension of the perpetrators of this heinous crime.
The investigation remains active and coordinated to prevent further incidents. From the command headquarters in Benin, Jola Deojo, ITV News.
In the meantime, the new Commissioner of Police at Delta State Command, CP Aino Additional, has resumed duty as the 23rd Commissioner of Police in other states, pledging to strengthen the security architecture and reduce crime and criminality. Warri correspondent Agmenka Ahmed reports that the Commissioner made this remark while officially assuming office at the Delta State Police Command headquarters in Asaba.
The new Commissioner of Police, Delta State Command, SP Aino Additional, was received at the police headquarters in Asaba by officers and men of the command on Monday, January 5th, 2026, where he expected a guard of honor mounted in his honor. He takes over from CP Olufemi Abaniwanda. Addressing newsmen shortly after the parade, SP Aino Additional said the mandate given to him is to strengthen the security architecture of Delta State, considering its strategic importance to the nation's economy and reduce crime and criminality.
Delta State remains one of the economic hubs of our nation, and it is well established that no society or economy can thrive in an atmosphere of insecurity. It is therefore our responsibility to protect lives, properties, and legitimate economic activities across the state. In line with this mandate, I wish to reassure the good people of Delta State that the command under my leadership will consolidate on existing gains while adopting a professional, intelligence-driven, and people-centered approach.
CP Aino previously served at Ogwashuku in 1996 and later as Deputy Commissioner of Police Operations in Delta State from 2023 to early 2025 before his elevation as the 23rd Commissioner of Police of the state. He was also Deputy Commandant Police College, where he served for 7 months prior to his posting. From Warri, Benga Ahmed, ITV News.
It was a celebration of unity, friendship, and purpose as members of the Great Etiosa International Ladies Club, also known as Successful Women, marked their first anniversary. The event brought together women from different walks of life to celebrate growth, shared values, and empowerment. The colorful celebration attracted members of the club, friends from other women's groups, and invited guests, including the Chief Executive Officer of Wesley Hotel, Ambassador Wesley Asoro, among others. Ofure Neto reports.
It was a moment of joy and fulfillment as members of the Great Etiosa International Ladies Club gathered to celebrate 1 year of impactful existence and engagement, led by the president and founder of the club, Mrs. Mercy Osamide, popularly known as Netete the Dawn. Guests were warmly welcomed as the celebration officially commenced with music, dance, and other side attractions. The event was further spiced up as members of the club took to the dance floor, while other women's groups, including the Assurance Ladies Club and the Corporate Committee of Friends, also thrilled girls with captivating dance performances. Members and invited guests expressed gratitude for the club's successful 1 year, pledging continued unity, commitment, and purposeful participation in its activities.
It's 1 year anniversary since the club began. It's a thing of joy. So we are all gathered here today to celebrate with them.
I really give kudos to the president. Etiosa Ladies Club, they are beautiful, they are wonderful, and they are representable. I love them.
We are here to celebrate with our EOWA of Etiosa Ladies Club International. Mommy, we love you, and we are happy to celebrate your 1 year anniversary.
Etiosa International Ladies Club has been one of the best clubs so far when it comes to unity, peace, and freedom. Everybody is so cooperating.
The 1 year anniversary celebration reaffirmed the club's commitment to fostering support, friendship, and meaningful engagement among women. From Benin, Ofure and Neto, ITV News.
Away from that now, Bubaka Local Government Council in Idugbo, Edo State has commenced enforcement of the open grazing ban policy effective January 3, 2026. The acting chairman of the council, Honorable Eric Saino Osawao, confirmed this during an inspection of the council's approved and officially designated cattle rearing site at Ikpe community on Monday, January 5, 2026. Joy Obaisiagbo has the details.
At the ranching site in Ikpe community located along the Benin-Abraka Express Road in Ikpobaoka local government area, which boasts an existing abattoir, a clean water source and a vast expanse of land for cattle grazing, Honorable Sawao commended cattle rearers who have already complied with the council's directive. He emphasized that the enforcement process remains people-centered and development-driven.
Some have complied, as you can see, some are already here. Yeah. And like I said, I say it's a conducive place for them to live. So the water and other vegetations make it conducive for them to feed and also have whatever they need for the cow to go healthy.
The council chairman further reaffirmed his commitment to building a cleaner, safer, and more orderly Ikpobaoka as he appealed to cattle rearers and all stakeholders to cooperate fully with enforcement agencies in the interest of lasting peace and prosperity.
The works are ongoing to make sure the place is conducive enough for them to rear their cow. And also there's a private abattoir here for them to also do their business. So we are here to make sure we have first-hand information on where we are bringing them to. And as I can see, it's very, very conducive for them to do their business.
From Benin, Joy Obaisiagbo, ITV News.
Well, thank you, Joy Obaisiagbo. And with that, now we're in the news update at 9:30. My name is Evan Sunokoge.
ITV, certainly the best.
the best. ITV, certainly the best.
All right, so this is where we want to draw the curtain today on the program. This one on ITV, and it's been a fruitful one for that matter. The very first Wednesday for the year 2026. And I want to say a very big thank you. So like what was said, as Nigerians, please, let's do the needful. For those that are yet to, get their voters cards, I mean, the opportunities on now. The continuous voter registration exercise is on. It has resumed for this year 2026. So please ensure that you go to the nearest INEC registration center so that you can get registered and have your votes, your voters cards. Because without the voters cards, there's no way you can participate in the next election. Then for the political parties, we know that activities are building up, and as you look forward to get your candidates, to have your candidates across the various political parties, the electorate are also looking forward to begin to know the candidates, and they will know who to vote for in next year's election. My name is Evan Sunoko. Until same time tomorrow. Goodbye and God bless you.